Hi everyone, it's Karen Jean from Ex Libris Crafts. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here with me tonight. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I sure would appreciate it if you would. It would help me out a lot. Let me know that you like what I'm doing. Also, even if you don't subscribe, throw in some comments. I love reading comments and seeing what everybody has to say. So this is part 2 of our Flamingo journal. The last video ended with me saying that I would do the grommets, but we were going to sew in the signatures together so that some of you might be curious as to how that's done. So as you can see here, I have the grommets placed in. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to get you up close so maybe you can see the different colors there. Now the top row and the bottom row are the same color, but the others are, those 4 there, if you can see them, are very slight different shades of the green. Okay, and I also realized that in part of the last video the air conditioner was on and it was so loud, so I have turned that off and hopefully things will be fine. What also I want to do before I sew in the signatures is put in the journal closure. I've decided on using this sheer green ribbon to do that, and I've cut it in about, maybe I was going to say 18 inches, but it might be longer. That's 14, 21, 22 inches. Like, my sausage fingers have trouble tying things sometimes. So but to do that is I'm going to have to pull this up a little bit here at the bottom. Let me see the best thing to do it. Okay, so the middle is, now this is 6 inches, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's 8.5. What am I saying? 6 inches. I'm confused. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. I'm confused. This is the side. It's 8.5 inches. So 4 1/4 is the center. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4, which is about here. I'm gonna just slide this under there, pull that up, make sure that's good and pulled up. And for this, I'm going to have to use this Fabrifix in this bottle because it has the very narrow, it's me just pulling the glue off, it has the narrow tip to it. So let me see if I can get that jammed in there. Okay, and I'm just gonna squeeze this to my heart's content, I think. It's about the middle, right? Oh, gracious goodness. I might try using the bigger one. Here we go. Here's the center. You can't tell. Excuse my head. Can't tell if enough is coming out or not. So I cut this down. Now I need to get some of it in there. I should have done this before I put the inside, but I did not. So, and did I get it? 1, 2, 3, 4, close enough. Close enough. Got it in there. Sometimes I forget to do things. I you know, get them out of order, and then when that happens, I have to go back. Of course, it would have been much easier. And I didn't have to do this kind of tie. I could have just done a tie around the outside, but I decided that I would rather have the closure attached. Pull that up a little bit. Ooh, there we go. That's one way to do it. And I think I'm going to forego Oh well, let's see, now it's coming out some more. I was going to say I would forgo this one and go for one of the larger bottles, which will have more coming out. But let's see, this one's been upside down, so let's see if I can get some out. Just squeezing it in that space there, mushing it around to make sure I get a good seal. I need to get another bottle of that out. Make sure it's more or less at the same spot that one is at, as my fingers get all full of glue. Sugar shoes. Ah, darn it. This one is proving much more difficult. I should have made a little... It's sticking to me, it's not sticking to the inside. Here we go. Let's try this. Shove that in there. Oh. Are they in the same spot? Close enough. Let's see, there's a big glob of glue there. And as I rub the glue off my fingers, get that down, get that adhered, I'm going to scooch over here and get a new bottle out. Here we go. And what I'll do later is I will take those that are left over in those bottles and just combine them all. But here, I have a new bottle. There. Okay. All right, so the closure is in. Very good. Now what I've done is, this is the thread or string that I've decided to use to sew the signatures in. It's green and white twine. It goes nicely with that. I've already, excuse me, I have already, pulling on the wrong one there. I've already, sorry, trying to get the cords out of my way. I've already put the holes in the signatures themselves. Now, what I do is I do 1, 2, 3. It's more than what you need, but I do 3 times the length. And then, so there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3, more or less. Okay. Now this I got at the dollar store, Dollar Tree actually. They have some that come 3 to a pack in smaller ones. I think this green one came with this purple and white one, and I think it came with this orange one. Or maybe not, because I also have a yellow and white one and a pink and white one. These are the little ones, and I don't remember, I'm missing one. I don't remember which came with which, quite honestly. I'm missing one because I think I must have used it. But anyway, so I'm using the green and white one. Oh, the other one was a brown and white one, I think. But then the Dollar Tree also has them in much larger spools if you just want the one color. So that's very handy. Okay, and I use an embroidery needle, which has a large eye to it. Let me get this out of the way. Now, this is how I sewed the signatures in. 5 holes. I used to do just 3 holes, and 3 holes are fine, but I feel more secure with the 5 holes. And I do sew in back to front. And this one I've decided was going to be the last one. Now, I'm sure there's other ways to do this, but this is how I figured out. This is my method. Now, because this is the point where I have to decide if I want the ties to be outside or if I want them to be inside. And for this journal, I want them to be on the inside. So I start on the inside. I start from the second hole down from the top, okay? And I go in and I leave, well, I leave a goodly amount, about that much. Okay, second hole from the top, and then on the outside I go in the top hole. See? In the top hole. All right? There. Okay. And then from there I go down to the middle hole, the third hole. Okay, and I snug it up just a little bit, not too much, because I'll snug it as we further go along. And then on the outside, I pop down to the fourth hole. Okay, so I go 2, 1, 3, 4. Okay, and you'll see that it's skipped one, but we'll take care of that. And then out 5. So this way there is string, so I'm weaving it in and out, and there'll be string on each side. Okay, and then I'm going in the fourth hole, so see, this is where we're covering that. In the fourth one. Where is it? There it is. Make sure you don't sew through the thread itself. Okay, now this is when we can start snugging things up a little bit. Okay, out that one, out the middle one, and see, now you see on the inside how they're all joined, and then in up through this hole. Now when you come up through the second hole, make sure that your string is going to lie on either side of that anchor string, and then you're going to snug it up. And see, this is pretty snug, right? And test the outside. Oh, test the outside. The outside's pretty snug too. Now, some people do one knot one way and then twist it the other way. Some people do one, twist it twice and be done with it. I think that's a surgical knot. I have no idea. So I snug it up and I twist it around one way, and then I take that and then I twist it the other way. So the first time when I did the knot, I took the string and did it. What did I do? I did this. I did the right side over the left side and I knotted it, right? And then I took the left side over the right side and knotted it. So it was knotted opposite ways. So, and that's nice and snug. And then I just leave them down because I might decorate or embellish. So that's one signature sewn in. Get rid of the clips. Now once it's sewn in, I make sure I fold it. Get my bone folder for this. Just fold it both ways. Make sure that it's going to move. I check it. So I want to check that bag that we put in here and see. Caught the edge there, but okay. Well, that's a gusseted pocket. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Paper's moving okay. Doesn't seem to be any major or even minor kerfuffles with that one. And now we'll do it the second one. Okay. So again, and I have glue on my fingers, which is bothering me. Because it's getting caught on the twine. So there's that. And here we go with the second signature. Now the same thing. Remember, hold on, let me get one of these clips back. There, hold it down. The first one we're doing is the second hole from the top, hole number 2, starting on the inside, going to the outside, and leaving about that much. And I think what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to snug it under that paper clip right there. Keep that in place. I don't know if you can hear the dog. She's it's later here. She's in bed. It's bedtime, and she's, I don't know, she's doing something in her crate, going crazy. Okay, so that's and now we're going to come up through the first hole, right? Come up through the first hole, down through the third hole, and these are all lined up because I used the template on the signature as well to punch the holes, so it's all lining up through the fourth hole. Let's get that one. In through the fourth, out through the fifth, making sure that we're on the central line here in the back, snugging that up as we go. And now is when we're really going to snug it as we go. Up again through the fourth, down through the third, and up through the second, and making sure it comes up on the opposite side of the signature there so that we can knot it and get it anchored in. Okay, so, and these are snug. Check the outside. And this one's a little loose. Hold on. Okay, nice and snug. All right, so I have my 2 threads here. I put my the right thread is, the left thread is over the right thread, and I'm dipping the right thread down through it to make that knot. And then I'm taking it, and the left thread is once again over the right thread, and I'm dipping it in the other direction and pulling it that way. Well, I don't know, that's how I do it. I don't know if that's the right way or not. So, take that off. Whoops, felt like something was stuck to my elbow. And now, once again, let me undo that one. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh well. Just come in here, kind of burnish that a little bit with my bone folder. And again on the other side. Just to make sure that everything is okie dokie. Okay. There. They all seem to be okie dokie. So now we are going to, I need to get bigger bulldog clips. I have these little ones in case I want to use them to put spine jewelry on and all, but they're a little bit too little for this. Okay, and so now we have, I am missing something because I have 2 signatures there and only 3 bulldog clips. Oh well. And now we have the last one. So, again, this is why I make sure that the eye of the needle is really big, because the twine does like to untwine itself, right? As we see right there. Okay. And I liked that method before where we stuck the end of it underneath. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to stick the end underneath on the side. Okay, and for the last one, second hole. Out through the second hole. Down. Up through the first hole. Okay, down through the third hole. And again, these holes are the 3/16 size, the larger size on the Crocodile Big Bite. There we go, through the fourth hole. Now, what you can do is you can do the bigger size on the spine itself and use the smaller size if you want on the signatures. Snug that tight out through the 5th. Or you could just use the smaller size on all of them, or the bigger size on all of them, whatever size you want, whatever floats your boat. This is your creativity, it is your creation, however you want to do it. Sew it in with 3, 5, 7. You're gonna have to sew it in with an odd number, whatever you choose. It has to be an odd number. Oops, see how that came up on the same side? I need to get that on the other side. There we go. Okay. Snug that. Hold that snug in my hand. Test for snugness. Yep. Okay. Now, what some people do is they will just wrap it around twice, once, twice, and tie it that way. And that'll be all they do, instead of one way and one the other way. Quilters, when I was first learning to quilt and doing tied quilts as opposed to quilting on the quilt tops themselves, that's the method I was taught, was actually wrap it twice one way and then wrap the tie twice the other way, and it will not come undone, because you don't want anything happening to the quilt that you just spent hours and days and weeks and months making. So, okay. So now let's fold this. See how all that is. And beautiful. Oh, and look at that. That's in the first one. Well, what do you know? Okay. Well, that's fine. So let me glue that down a little bit there. That's fine. There. Just put a little art glitter glue on that. Make sure it stays. And also on the outside here, it's come up too. Okay. And then I thought what we would do after we sewed in the signatures here, oh shoot, see? Ripped off some of that, ripped off some of the napkin, oh well, is make those gusseted coin pockets that I was talking about, that I showed you that I have in the Winnie the Pooh journal. And I did find the video where I saw it, and it was at Firefly Studios. So you could go on and head on over to hers and check it out there. But we will make it here as well, and I will link her video down below as well. So there. Looking good, looking good. Let me check this one. This pocket needs to be glued down a little bit too. I think I need a little more light. It is night here. It's later. The sun is gone, so it's a little bit darker here in my workspace, even with all the bright lights I have. Just gonna put a dab of art glitter glue right there, and a dab of it here on the outside, just to make sure that that's glued down where it's joined. And I better check the other two. Well, the other two bags are a different make, thinner, but they're perfectly fine. They're not going anywhere. Oh, look, and some of the purple transferred over. Oh well. And here's the purple bag, and it seems to be, I got these bags at the Dollar Tree, so go figure. The other one's the Celebrate It white bags I think I got at either Joann's or at Michael's. Okay, so 3 signatures. Looks good. This looks good. They look straight, relatively straight anyway, thank goodness. Yes, it's a little bit crooked here on the bottom, but I'm okay with that. So what I'm going to do is tie it off and set it aside. And I'm doing this because otherwise it'll just keep on flopping open, as you can see. So, whoops, let me tie that tighter. See, doesn't want to stay closed. Stay on there for a second. And eventually I might wind up, yeah, trimming that down. Probably. I don't think we need it that big. But, all right, so I'm putting this aside. Now, for the envelopes, the gusseted coin envelopes. Now, at Firefly Studios, she uses a 12 by 12 piece of paper, which is what we have here. And she uses, you can get 3 of them out of the 12 by 12, because she uses a strip of 12, and then she only cuts each strip 3 1/4 inches wide, which to me is a little bit too narrow of a pocket. I would like my pockets a little bit bigger than that, so I do cut them larger than that. You can cut them as wide as you want, and then you're just going to have to make adjustments. And I think it might make a little bit more sense as we go along and I show you. Okay, so, and those are the measurements from her video, again linked below. But you have so you have the main strip, the main envelope strip, then you have another pocket. You're going to do a pocket on it, but then you also have to cut out gussets for the sides. So, which is probably why you only get 3, because you need the other strip for all those extra bits and pieces that you're getting. Now, I've chosen this because I had this out, and I think it's going to go nice in the journal. This is a scrap from, I think, the Winnie the Pooh journal that I just made. I'm not sure. But I like how these coordinate. It's from the same paper pad, which I absolutely love, that I got at Joann's. I absolutely love this paper pad, but it's paperweight. It's not cardstock. I do not suggest cardstock paper with this. I suggest regular paperweight paper. Now, I want mine a little bit wider than 3 1/4, because I think I just want them bigger than that. That's why I just want them bigger than that. So what I'm going to do is, oh, I'm a little bit sweaty, excuse me. I am going to make them, well, because they're going to be, let me think. We're doing gussets. How big, if I do 4 inches, I could do 4 inches. Well, I could do 4 inches and still get 3 out of this, and just use this for the gussets as well. So why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? Okay. And I got a piece of paper here that is an all-over print that does not necessarily go one way. Like this is most definitely a one-way print because of the way the vines are growing. Because what you're going to do is you're folding the paper over. So it's going to be folded over, right? So if you do it, it's one way it's going to be the right way, and the other way it's going to be upside down, or upside down looking, because I don't know if that makes sense to you. Well, maybe not. It's not going to be. Anyway, whatever. I'm not making any sense at the moment. I'm sweating because I have the air conditioner off. So I'm doing 4-inch strips, 4 by 12, and again, because I think I need a new blade. So I should get 3 strips out of this. Yes, you should. Okay, and this should also be 4. Yeah. Okay. So need for the pocket, I need 4 inches wide by 3 inches. How much is this? 6 inches. All right, I'm going to cut Let me see the best way to do this. Well, no, 3 7/8. Oh, how should I cut it? All right, I'm going to cut it this way. So 4 inches. Can I get 2? 4 by I can get 2. All right, so I'm going to make the 4 inches. Okay. 4 inches and another one 4 inches, and I don't know if I'm going to get all that I need out of this to make 3 pockets. I don't know if that's going to be enough gusset to make gussets out of for 3. All right, so then I want 3 inches. That's 3 inches, and that's 3 inches. I think and that's 3 inches. And you see me lifting it up again because. Then I need, for the gussets, I need 2 pieces that are 1.5 inches wide by 3 7/8 inches long. How big is this one? 1, 2, 3, 3.5, not 3 7/8. Well, I can probably do that instead of. Well, let's do this one. 3 7/8. 3 7/8. And 1.5 inches. For the gussets. I'm not going to get them all out of this one piece here. So that's 1.5. I'm not. Here's 1.5. Okay. So there. That's 1. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 pockets. Okay. How big is this one? 3.5. How big is this one? Okay, well. All right, so I can get, let me get 1.5 out of this one. It's a little bit smaller, but that's okay. It won't go the full length of the pocket. I guess I'll just have a little gap on the bottom, which is fine. Okay, 1.5, 1.5. That makes another one. And how wide is this? Not 1.5 inches. Tell you that right now. Let me see if I have something else, another piece in my scrap bucket over here. Leftovers from when I made the poo journal. No, cardstock. My hand's caught. No. I have a bucket full of stickers to use for ephemera. To make ephemera. It's such a fun word, isn't it? Ephemera. Ephemera. So you could always do, I guess, a fabric gusset if you want, right? Nobody says it has to be a paper gusset. It could be a fabric gusset. I have this little piece in there, hanging out, doing nothing. How big is this? Just about 3 7/8. Okay, let's use this one. 1.5. Let's move those aside. Just want to make sure I'm keeping them together. And 1.5. Now I already said that I would probably use some of this napkin. This is napkin that I adhered to just regular copy paper weight using cling wrap method. So, and there I have those 2 gussets. Okay, gussets, gussets, gussets. I do not want to get them confused. These are leftover scraps, so I'll put those. Now I'm going to skedaddle over here and get my scoreboard out because I forgot to take that out. Oof. Of course it's stuck. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so this is the scoreboard. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I get my gussets all squared away over here to the side. Okay, these which are the pockets, okay, I'm going to use my punch. Which punch is this? 1.5" punch. Let's see if I can get this darn thing off. There we go. My 1.5" punch to just make a notch. I'm not going to go all the way halfway down. I'm just going to go a little bit down to make a notch in it. And then I'm going to get out my ink, and I'm going to ink all these as well before I get out of there. Before I score them. So why don't we ink? And I'm going to use my Ranger Distress Oxide. No, I'm not. I'm going to use my archival ink in that bright fuchsia pink color. It's either that color or, well, I could use Shabby Shutters, but I don't think I want to use Shabby Shutters. There's this one, which is like a neon greeny thing. Spun Sugar. Nope, I'm really leaning towards the pink one right now. So that's the one it's going to be. Okay. Now I used the corner chomper on all the corners because there's going to be folded over. This is going to be folded down. So that's why I did both sides, because I wanted it to have both sides. Okay, I'm going to move the pockets over to the side, and here we go. Now we're going to score this, the large part, at, okay, 10.5 right there. And then 10 3/8. So we're giving it an 1/8. This is the top right here. We're just having an 1/8 of an inch fold over. That's going to fold over on the top. And then 5 3/4, because that's where we're going to fold it in half, more or less. And then 1 3/4. 1 3/4. Because that's where we're going to fold down that flap. Okay, so 1 3/4, 5 3/4, 10 3/8, and 10.5. And what happens is, and I don't know if you can see them because it's white paper. So we have this. This makes a little, tiny little 1/8 of an inch. That's the top. This is where we fold it over on that middle one, and this is going to fold down like so. Okay. And we're going to make sure that it's all, and there we have that. Now on the gussets, and here we go. And these are going to be harder to do because they're so narrow. Basically what we're doing is we're folding them in half and then we're folding them in half again. Okay, so they're 1.5 inches wide. So we're doing it at the 3/4 mark, which is in the middle, right? The 3/4 mark. And I think I probably need to flip these the other way. And then the 3/8 mark, because we want to get that in the middle. And then at the 1 1/8 mark, right there. So what we have here is that here we go. I'm folding it like this, and then like that, and then like that. So folding it in half one way, and then flipping it to make a W out of it. Okay. Now, the thing is that pay attention when you're folding it, because it's like a mountain and a valley, right? And there's the W. The fold, I believe, is supposed to, when we glue it down here, right? It's going to glue down here. So when it gets glued in, and I do believe it makes a difference. So that's why I'm telling you this. When we glue it in there, that should be facing in. And I believe it makes a difference. I do not believe it's supposed to be facing out, right? Like that. Although I don't know why it would make a difference. I don't think it, well, I don't know. Do you guys, for some reason, over at Firefly Studios, she made a point of making sure which way you're putting it in. I'm trying to, I don't know. Looking at it this way, it doesn't seem to me like it's going to matter all that much. And I want the pretty paper facing outside, so, you know, we see the outside of the pretty paper. So, putting this on here again, and we're doing 3/8. I'll get that in there. Well, first let's do 3/4. Oh, heavens. Let me put this over here. It's getting in my way. 3/8, 3/4, and 1 1/8. Okay. So, there's 3/4. There's 1 1/8. There's 3/8. Oops, I just went off. There's 3/8. Okay. So, when you're folding it, you're doing an accordion fold. There. Okay. Accordion folds. Now this one, and we're going to glue it down here. Again, here it is, right? So we're going to glue it to this short piece here. And I'm going to use art glitter glue. Scoochy, scoochy, scoochy. Go back and forth. Get a larger grip area. And I'm even going to make sure that my vinies are pointing in the right direction. And I hope this is all in frame. I'm placing it right up to that edge. Right up to that edge. It doesn't quite go to the bottom or to the top. There. Bingo. And now this one. Scoochy, scoochy, scoochy. Back and forth, back and forth. And again. Pretty paper out, facing out. All the way up to that edge. If you can see that. Scooching it all the way up to that edge. There. Okay. And now I'm gonna do that. fold it up. Make sure these are laying flat. Oh, all right. Make sure they're laying flat. There we go. Fold it up. There. It's a little bit of a delicate surgery there. But there we have our gusseted pocket. Right? Bingo. Now, for this, we're also going to score it along. Let me close my glue here. The small pocket that we're going to put on up front, we're also going to, we're not going to put gussets in it, but we are going to score it so that we're folding things under. And we're scoring it a 1/4 inch in. Right, so that it is well, you don't have to do 1/4 of an inch. It depends on how big you want it. If we do a 1/4 of an inch in, we're going to lose a total of 1/2 inch on the so 1/4 of an inch, it's kind of a lot. If we do 1/8 of an inch, which is just a little bit, then we're not losing that much of the pocket. You could do it either way, 1/8 of an inch or a 1/4 of an inch. Or you don't have to do it at all. You can just glue down, glue it down the sides that way. But we'll do it this way. A 1/4 of an inch. I'll do a 1/4 of an inch. And a 1/4 of an inch. And a 1/4 of an inch. Okay. Then I'm going to snip these corners so that there's no bulk and that they're laying flat. Get this down, and I might have to get out my inking tool again because I inked the sides of this and forgot that we were going to be doing this. So fold that in, fold that in, and fold that in. Okay, and what happens is, you see, it just, you don't have as much bulk on the inside. But let me get my dauber and ink that up. Now, and get my art glitter glue. And I'm daubing on all 3 corners. And I forgot I'm going to do it now. I'm also just trimming the top pieces in just a hair, trimming that corner off there just a hair. There we go. And now we're going to secure this down, scooch it over a little, I hope. Okay. Okay. So far, so good. Now, I'm going to move my scoreboard out of the way just a little bit. Sorry, knocked you about. And yes, there's the glare there. Here, I'll get rid of the glare. Do that. Oh, you're still seeing glare. You see more glare than I do. Okay. I see the glare down here. It's the angle. Okay, I'm sorry. I am just rambling on, aren't I? So here is the pocket. Now, that is all glued down. That's all glued in. Now there's a couple of different things that we can do. Oh, we could have gusseted the bottom of it too. Not gusseted, done that to the bottom of it so that it could, oh, well there, we still can. If I had moved that up to the end, we'll do that for the next one. If we placed this outside pocket up at the end where the end of that gusset is, we could have scored the bottom of it. Huh. We'll do that. If we score the bottom of it, and then we know where to place those gussets. Look at that. Okay, we'll figure that one out for next time. Oh, yes. And then it would make it an even bigger expanding pocket. Let me just fix that. Okay. Yes, we will do that for next time. We're going to change it around a little bit. Now, you can leave this just plain white, or you can decorate it with stickers. You could put another piece of paper here if you want. You could do anything. The one thing we do have to put on here is the closure, the tie closure because it is a coin purse. Coin purse, listen to me. Yeah, I talk good English. A coin purse after all. Now, I could use, although I didn't use that, I could just punch this out, although that's I would have to glue this down to something. And I just had an idea, because I have this bright green, whoa, lime green paper. Now, if I do, let me get out my circle punches. The 1.5 inch, that is for, let me put that away for now. That's for making the thumb notches. Where are my other circle punches? That's a 1 inch circle punch. And where's my other circle punch? I have circle punches of all sizes. A 2 inch circle punch. No, that's too big. Oh, no, not that one. I have a drawer full here of, here we go, 5/8. Oh, but that's got the scalloped edges. I don't want the scalloped edged one. I have 2 circle punches, 2 5/8 circle punches. One has a scalloped edge and one does not. I think I see it. I think I see it. Oh, sugar shoes. Here we go. All right. Now, a 1 inch punch. This is what I'm thinking. These darn things bother me. Do a 1 inch punch, right, out of the green. And then if we do a 5/8 of an inch out of this, or we could do it, hello. Nope, 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 nope. We could do it out of that, or let me go back over here to this. Do a 5/8 out of this. Let me see if I can get some of that right there. Pretty pink flower. And let's see if we like that. Of course, by the time we put the hole in the middle of it, it might be, no, that green is a little bit too bright, isn't it? Yes it is. Yes it is. Yes it is. Well, okay, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. I'm just trying to use my scraps here, people. So, oh, wait a second. We have these from what we did the signature centers out of, right? Hold on. Where's the other one? Ooh, that's a bit, I don't think I want to do that one. We could do, that's the wrong green, isn't it? Yellow, pale yellow check, that's the wrong color too. And that other color is definitely the wrong color. This one is, although, if we're clever about it, hold on. If we're clever about it, let me see how clever I can be about it. I'm going to have to do the 1 inch punch because, again, with the hole in the middle and stuff. Now, I wonder if I can get these flowers. So, Let me cut that flower out, and if I center the punch around that flower, I get that flower in the center of the punch. Let's see. I'll trim it down a little bit more. There. Now, that blue might not quite be the right color, but that flower is the right flower. And there's another one over here. I could cut out that one. I could do that one as well. I could do those. I don't think I want to do a butterfly. All right, I'll do that one. Should I make all three different? What about this one? What about this white one here? Let's see this one. That one, okay. And well, let's do that one. Instead of cutting up this whole piece, let's just cut up a little piece of it. Let's see how that goes. Let's see. There. Okay. So now I have those. Get these little bits and bobs out of the way. I hope I didn't need this for anything. I hope I didn't cut anything I shouldn't have cut. Those are the gussets. Those are the gussets. All right. Okay, put you away. Okay, so now I need a tiny little grommet. I need a tiny little grommet. I'm going to do a tiny little grommet. Again, I don't have any really pretty colors. Although I don't need to do a grommet, I can do, instead of a grommet, I can do a brad. I could do a brad instead of a grommet. I have these tiny little flowers, right? Flower inside a flower. I could do that. These are flower brads. These are circle brads. Big ones and smaller ones. Or I could do a grommet. Now, if I did the grommet, the grommets are... What did I just do with the grommets? Oh my goodness, I think it's time for me to go to bed. Oh, for goodness gracious. Gosh golly. Or I can use... Now, I would like to use like a green one, but it's too big. These are the bigger ones. And I don't think I necessarily want one that size there. Although it does fit perfectly in the middle of that flower. The one nice thing about having the grommet as it goes through here, and this is to tie the string to, right? Is that it's there, and if I did the brad, I would have the ends of the brad, which is not a big deal, but the grommet would lay nicer than the brad would. Ay, 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 ay. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Well, okay, I guess we're going to do a grommet instead of a brad. I'm sure we'll use the brads elsewhere. Now, I need... Okay, let's do this one. Let me get my little tool instead of my big bite. Okay, let's hope I don't screw this up. We have the tiny one, the 3/6. No, I want the tiny one over here. Okay, so that's about centered. I'm just eyeballing this, obviously. this tool is nice because you can see on top, and I'm using the wrong one. Which did I use? I used the smaller one instead of the larger one, right? My head's in the way, I know, I'm sorry. Well, let's see. Let me get that out of the way. I don't think my grommet's gonna fit in there. Nope, used the wrong one. Here we go, here's the big one. Big one's on this side. Okay, let's try this again. So you can see it has a hole, so you can see it and center it. Okay, and then you put your, and you have to check to make sure, no, this is the wrong one. Flip that over, and, oops, hello. Well, let's just do that one, not quite sure. Oh, and it fell out. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. There. Okay, let's hope this one works. There. Bingo. Isn't that pretty? Didn't that come out nice? And now the string, I could use the same green and white twine that I used to do the signatures, right? Which I think probably would be the best one to use. Of course, I do have these other colors here, but I think that's too much pink. I like the green one. So we will tie this around here. Hello, hello, hello. Get it under there. Pull it up a little bit. Okay. Tie this off. Okay, just wrapping the twine around there and getting it under there. Get under there, get under there. What problem am I having? Is it twisted? Am I tying it the wrong way? There we go. Whoops. What did I do? Looks a little bit funny. I think what I'll do is then I will bring it over to the other side and tie it off over here as well. See if I can balance that out. There. Just to make sure it's secured. Cut that underneath. And I'm gonna maybe want to wrap that twice. Hello. Hello. There. And there is our coin pocket, coin purse pocket. Now the next ones I'm going to make, I'm going to make sure that, like I said before, that I scored the bottom in both places, like I have to score the top up here for an opening, so that it can open even further. The structure of it seems to be. So, and what we do now, of course, it's made, and they can be it can be placed in the book. What I think I will do is continue on making the other two, and I'm going to do that off camera. Again, I will link her Firefly Studios, her tutorial down in the description box. And then we will have these 3 pockets. And these will be, I guess, the first things that we place into the journal. Why not make all 3 of them? They are fun to make, and I don't know, how long did that take us? Oh, we've been at it for another hour. Oh well. Thank you for joining me this evening. I hope that this gave you some type of inspiration. Please feel free to leave me a comment. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. We are only limited by our own imaginations. Let yours run wild. See you soon.